weeping. Krishna, a real hero. It is not a fictitious story that took place once upon a time, nor is it a story that anyone has heard from others or has read anywhere. It is based on a real story I've experienced for myself. The characters of such stories are the true source of inspiration. This is the tale of one such character has really inspired me. The story goes back to a time 3 years ago. It was 9 in the morning and I was sitting in the park by the side of the Nagpokari pond, searching for an idea from which I could weave a story. It was at this time that I saw a boy of around 10 stretching his hands in front of the passers-by, asking for a rupee or 2. With his hands stretched, he approached me. I stood, staring at his eyes vacantly. For a few seconds, he looked quite afraid. But when I smiled, placing a 50 rupees note in his hand, he smiled back. He looked quite surprised and kept on looking straight at my face. He did not believe I had indeed given him the money. "The money is yours, my friend, but remember, I have earned it through hard labour. Use it for good work," I said. Pocketing the note, the boy ran out of the park. I followed him, without giving him the slightest clue of my presence. The boy hurried to the pharmacy. I sat there, observing him. A few minutes later, he came out with a vial of medicine. He now held only 10 rupees note in his hand. I continued following him. He entered an underground room of an old, crumbling, ancient building of the Rana period. As it was dark all around, he could not see me. I could see an old woman rising from a bed, coughing badly. The boy spoke out with enthusiasm. "Mama, I have brought medicine for you. Come on, get up. Take the syrup." The old woman woke up and lit the lamp. The oil lamp, which was made with a wick dipped in a bottle, dissipated faint light in the room that usually remained in darkness even at noon. I could see the condition of the cellar's interior clearly in the dim light. There was an aluminium cup by the side of the old woman. It contained mucus that had traces of thick blood in it. In the other corner was an old stove with a metal pot that had been placed and a frying pan lay by its side. Fried popcorn could be seen on an uncovered plate. The woman seemed to be around 60 years old. "Would you have some popcorn?" she asked. The question brought a glow to the boy's face. He fed her 2 spoonfuls of the syrup. He looked happy serving his mother. Fixing his eyes straight on the old woman who lay in her sickbed, the boy stood up at once and said, "Mama, you can't have any popcorn, right? Let me fetch you some bread. We will then sit together and eat." Having said this much, the boy went out of the house. He returned within a few minutes, carrying a loaf of bread. As soon as he got in, he made the old woman sit on her bed with her back resting against the wall. Slowly, he started feeding her bread and water. With her thirst quenched and hunger satisfied, the woman fell back into a deep sleep. I was really moved by the sight of the love a child bore for his mother. I could not hold my tears any longer. After his mother had fallen asleep, Boy started having some popcorn for himself. I thought that I shouldn't withhold my feelings about him. "Brother, do you see? I have come to your house." "Oh, aren't you the same man who gave me 50 rupees note at Nagpokari?" the boy asked with curiosity. I nodded my head. He quickly moved to his mother, shook her back awake, and said, "Mama, see? Here's the man who gave me money for your medicine." The woman looked at me. There was a glow on her face in spite of her sickness. I greeted her with my hands joined. Today, Krishna Paudyal navigates all the small streets and big streets in Kathmandu selling newspapers. He earns little more than 100 rupees in a day. He's also the member of the Hawkers Club, founded by Balmandir. I recently visited the room of Krishna, who has lately started going to an evening school. His mother has recovered from her illness too. She also earns 100 per day by embroidering beautiful patterns. Their room also has got a new look. I'm really inspired whenever I see this little lad who instilled in his mother a new life and is himself heading along the right path in spite of being far from his father and relatives. Whenever I meet him, I go home and tell my son, "Dear, I met a true hero today." He asks me if I've met Rajesh Hamal. I correct him. No, he is Krishna Paudyal, who's not a hero of the screen, but of real life. This is all of the story. I don't know whether it is worth calling a story, but I am confident you will appreciate and adopt the good qualities of Krishna.
Kartikeya Khimire. Kartikeya Khimire has been actively involved in writing and promoting children's literature in Nepal for the last 2 decades. He has also been managing and operating www.ketaketionline.com, the first web magazine for the children in Nepal dedicated to the promotion of the Nepalese children's literature internationally. He also chairs the Children's Literature Foundation Nepal CLFN, Cyber Journalist Association Nepal, and the Children's Journalist Group Nepal. An independent journalist by profession, Khimire picks up the themes from day-to-day experiences of the Nepalese children, their joys and sorrows, their dreams and frustrations in his stories. Born to Chandranath Khimire and Durgadevi Khimire in a poor agricultural family in Sarlahi district, Khimire has seen the face of poverty and hardship from a very close distance. Amidst scarcity, he struggles through his studies and he pursued his master's degree in journalism and mass communication. He was merely 9 when he turned his hands at literary writings. Now, as a prolific author, he has been continuously reaching out to Nepalese children, sometimes as an author and occasionally as an editor or storyteller. His author commitment to the promotion of the Nepalese children's literature, in spite of a number of his personal hurdles, is highly praiseworthy. Khimire's stories appeal directly to the emotions of the young readers and permeate through their minds, and the life and experiences of his characters are also the life and experiences of everyone can relate to. His blood evolved out of the waves of feelings that touch every one of us, though he is seldom keen to reflect on them or record them, and sees that literature is an archive where we find the experiences of our lovely youthful past safely treasures. This makes him an author of universal hue. Thank you.